All right, I'm kicking this off. It's 12:01. Here we go.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trackside with Tom. I am here today with Noah Bolte. Say hello to everyone, Noah.
How's it going?
And his brother Sam Bolte, who has also joined us today.
Hi.
Yes. Sam was the one ruffling papers in the background, too, or whatever it was he was doing.
I can keep doing that if you want. I mean,
It's a little bit distracting, I'm not going to lie. But we'll make it work. We do have to, I got this message earlier. We do have to tell Eric Morris happy birthday. I see he's on here today.
Well, happy birthday.
Yes. Not calling
Happy
out
birthday,
ages
yeah.
because we don't do that here. We're just telling him happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So, if everybody wants to give us a sound check there, let me know that we can hear Noah and Sam all right. And we have a lot of territory to cover today in the next hour. Because quite frankly, our territory has expanded in the last 2 days.
That would be an understatement, yeah.
So, I have pulled up on my screen right now the Stevens Point camera. And now, I should say one of the Stevens Point cameras. We have two cameras. They're located at the same place. They're just pointing opposite directions, kind of like East Dubuque. But what I do want to tell people is that now that Stevens Point is here and certain other things are played out, I can share a little bit of the backstory behind the Wapaka cam that came and was there for a minute and then ran away. So, basically, the Wapaka location is staying with Virtual Railfan. We're not going to have another camera returning to Wapaka. However, all of the equipment from Wapaka is now in Stevens Point. And it is being used for this new host location. We actually have a private host in Stevens Point, and he has this fantastic backyard view of the Canadian National Superior Sub. And we are about a half of a mile west of the Wisconsin River Bridge and the Stevens Point yard office where they change crews there. So this first train that I have queued up, this is actually an eastbound train going from right to left. And we're going to go ahead and roll this guy by. We're going to christen the Wapaka camera with I'm not even sure what train this is. I'll be honest, I do not know a huge amount about operations in the former Sioux Line or former Wisconsin Central territory. You are hearing scanner chatter there in the background. We do have a scanner radio feed going along with this, and this looks to me, for all the world, like a loaded crude oil train going south. If I were just going to make an educated guess. Oh, no, that's just manifest on the head end.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that we have going is that we have 3 people that have stepped up and are helping us run a train log for Wapaka. Sorry, I'm even screwing it up now.
CN detector, mile 251.
We can look and see, because one of the things I want to do is see how many trains we buy the first day
temperature
of the first full day of operation of Stevens Point, which was yesterday. So, Sam or Noah, if one of you guys want to pull up that log and just count them up quick, see how many train movements we got by the camera.
Here, I'll open it up real quick. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Now, before you say it, I kind of want to make a guess here. I'm going to guess anywhere between, maybe somewhere like in the 25 range.
25?
That seems like it. That's kind of what I'm guessing. Just based, assuming every single train was counted. I'm going to say somewhere around 25.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do Tuesday because that was the first full day.
Yeah, first full day. Yep.
First one at 12:45 in the morning, M344. Do you want me to just list off the trains or?
No,
or
just give us a
everything?
count.
I would just say the count.
Oh, okay.
honestly.
So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 25.
Oh my God! No way!
Wow.
Look, I swear to you.
I'll recount
I
one more time.
I
Let me
swear I
see.
did not look. I did not look.
The nail right on the head. Good job, Noah.
No. It's 27.
Oh,
27. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
too. I was
Very-
a little.
very
I
close, though.
undershot.
Very close.
I undershot.
Well, if we're
This is
playing
very
the
close.
prices right, you still get to win.
That's very true.
Closest without going
And then-
over. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, now what's
Yeah.
interesting about this is we actually get more trains on the west side or the north side of Stevens Point than you do on the south side going toward Wapaka. Because what happens is some of those manifest trains, here comes a Tier 4 DPU coming in.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Some of the trains that come into Stevens Point then get broken down and split up for different destinations. So, for instance, the train that goes
That
to
is
Minneapolis
correct. I mean, about 5 over the
is
split.
built out of Stevens Point. And then he goes up to, I think, Owen
That's
is the name
correct.
of the spot. And then
Owen,
he splits off
yep.
to the west to go over toward Minneapolis. I think that they built a separate train for Wisconsin Rapids going west out of here as well. And that turns off.
They
the main
also
line
there's
of
also
Tennessee.
and I know there's a Stevens Point to Winnipeg train as well. So there's that one too.
Right.
3 to go.
So, anyway, yeah, so there's our first roll by at the Stevens Point camera. The other thing that I have noticed watching this Stevens Point camera kind of loosely the last 2 days,
Couple.
I was
Well,
surprised
they're
at the
setting that
number
Nina or
of
Superior Sub.
SD60s,
Milepost
SD75Is,
252.8. Northbound on the siding.
you know, kind of that
Good up
kind
to
of that oddball,
North
well, it's
Rocky
not
Run,
oddball,
switch
but the
snow,
older
add
EMD
1201
standard cab
out.
power that's still running around. That apparently makes
Yeah.
a fair
Yeah,
number
you
of
can
runs.
still find it. You just kind of have to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They seem to be pretty common up there with the locals. And you
Oh,
also get a lot of Canadian cab Jeeps up there. I think there's quite a few out of Stevens Point.
yeah.
It could be wrong, but
and there's another thing worth noting here now. While it is not nighttime right now, if we scroll back, you can see, and I'm sure many of you have, that it's just a really good night view on this camera. Both of them, actually,
I'm going to scroll
And,
back here a little bit.
to kind of showcase that. I would say, yeah, go to 529 real quick, and there's actually something interesting trailing second out on this intermodal train here.
5:29 a.m. Let's see what I can find.
Yep.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Looks like he's coming toward
Well,
us,
you
so
can't
this
do
would be a
1 and
southbound move.
I don't know. I thought something.
Uh-huh.
I'll give him a call. There you go.
Oh, that's 4:36 in the morning. It was a different intermodal train.
You just have
I
it
got
all.
confused.
whoops.
Oops. Yeah,
that was
they
a
get
one-unit wonder.
they get a lot of intermodal on this line.
They
They get a lot. It's
Something you up.
yeah. You really wouldn't think so, but I mean, a lot of it's all, like West Coast British Columbia traffic. There's a lot of it.
Yeah, and it's headed for Montreal and Toronto and points east, but they run it down around Chicago and back east up through Michigan to get to the eastern Canada side.
if you go to 956 37, I guess the CN Bud car went through this morning. So
Okay.
I just looked at the log. I'm like, oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, this is the beauty of a train log, right? We get to find out about all this cool stuff. You said it was another intermodal train? Oh, here it is. I think I found it now.
Yeah, that.
Another
Yeah,
southbound
529.
intermodal train.
Mm-hmm.
There it
Ooh,
is.
we have a Blue Devil?
No. Something else that's blue. Something else that's GE, but it is not a Blue Devil. I've heard people call these humpback whales or big blues or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say blue whales. I've heard that.
Yeah, there you go. One of the 4, I believe, left that CN has not repainted and renumbered just yet. So they're still kind of hanging on to those 4, but CN does own them despite the GECX reporting marks on that.
Okay. Very interesting. So.
And actually, you were. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say this guy. So trains come into Stevens Point, and it's a crew change point. Sometimes you will see them cruising by the camera fairly quickly, but they do in fact pull down to Stevens Point and change crews also. So what were you going to say, Noah?
Well, you were talking about how it's not always just a non-stop parade of new GEs like you would think it is. And there's actually a decent example of that at 448.
All right.
Now, it's not a standard cab BMD, but it still is 2 older ones. You know, older is I guess we're using that term loosely here, but yeah.
Oh yeah, 270s looks like.
Yep, 275Is.
All right.
Yeah, and then after that,
we'll find that, and then we'll find that Bud car also, because that's always kind of a big move when it goes by. We've got 27 people logged in, watching us live right now. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Let's see.
Kind of note with that train at 449 there, literally you go back a few cars and then it turns from manifest into a little bit of intermodal and then straight back to manifest some, I don't know, 15 cars later.
Yep, there's those 75
kind of funny.
eyes.
That one really gets slowing down towards the end of it.
He does. I'm guessing he stopped right at the yard office and changed crews. That'd be my guess. This one is a
so far I mean
like
this is just
PSR special going by. Containers on the head end. I know I saw manifest in the middle of it. Auto racks in the rear. The only thing we're missing was 125 loads of coal.
Yeah. Well, that might be out of the realm of this region. Yeah. Let's see. And Stevens Point isn't well. So we'll check that Bud car out in a second here, but Stevens Point is not the only new addition that we have to look through today, is it, Tom?
No, it's not.
Total axle 4.
I was in another
1-7.
quaint pastoral little town in eastern Iowa, installing another webcam. I have a funny story about that too when we get to it, but we'll go ahead and roll this guy by first. Actually, he's getting he really is dragging down.
Oh yeah, he just dragged his feet into the end of it, and then by about, I don't know, 457, something like that, it comes to a complete stop. So yeah, you're going to be looking at a lot of slow moving cars in a second
and
here.
Look at some of these auto racks. See if there's any interesting auto racks here.
Actually, if you want to talk about interesting cars, actually, right before where it stops, it looks like there's a couple of UP's new box cars. I think we talked about it a couple shows ago, but if you just skip back maybe, I don't know, a minute from where you're at right now, you can see, I think it looks like a couple of them.
Right here. That looks like an NS Auto Parts box car. And then 2 of the brand new UP box cars you were talking about.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Those look really nice. I like those.
Yeah, they put the reporting marks high up to avoid the tedious job of having to put the identification back on those. So that's kind of That's kind of clever. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm sure other cars have done it. I just haven't seen it so prevalent until now.
Right. And you can actually see an example of that on these T-boxes that are coming, where they literally had to black and white the reporting marks right back over the graffiti. Those cars were pristine.
That's a perfect example. That is a perfect example.
Uh-huh.
Not a lick of graffiti on them, nothing.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and find
like you said, the rest of this train.
Yes, the RDC is at 9:56, 30 seconds.
Halfway
9:56,
in. All right.
30 seconds.
Let's see here. 7:30 in the morning. We have a stopped container train. Shipping containers, it looks like.
That is what the absolute vast majority of these are. There is one train that, there's typically one train each way each day that has a good chunk of domestic stuff, and that includes like those kind of spiffy looking CN containers with the green markings and everything. I really like seeing those, but those are usually, I believe, and someone correct me on this if I'm wrong, I believe those are Q118 and 119. I think that usually get the domestic traffic, but again, could be wrong with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is an overwhelming amount of maritime containers on these stack trains.
I'm sorry, Sam, what time stamp were we looking for again?
9:56.
Oh, 9:56.
30 seconds.
Okay.
9:56.
I think. 9:55.
Yeah, I'd actually try and find it for myself here.
We'll watch this for a little bit. Yeah, that's exactly right. Re-stenciling costs money. That is 100% correct. Put those reporting marks up high and nobody can touch them. At least not without a extension ladder.
Preventative action.
So this RDC car, it's a former Bud stainless steel car that the CN has rebuilt and repurposed, and it is now their track inspection vehicle. We see this thing run around Iowa sometimes on the Iowa Interstate. There it goes.
Yes.
So, now that we've seen all of that excitement, and thank you to our new host. We have a private host in Stevens Point. So, it was his wish to remain anonymous. We're going to honor that, but I just want to thank him on air for agreeing to host, and this is something that I couldn't, for the way that things turned out, I couldn't be happier with what we ended up getting. I'm really pleased with what we got here, and the backyard lighting, the cameras, the view, everything, it's just spectacular. So thank you for our newest host location in Wisconsin. And now I am going to go ahead and switch over to our actual newest camera. So this Stevens Point camera went in on Monday. We have a camera that went in yesterday, and this one is in Bellevue, Iowa. So this is the Canadian Pacific Marquette sub. As somebody fairly irreverently pointed out to me yesterday, this is the third camera on the Marquette sub. And you know what I say to that? The Marquette sub is really frickin' difficult to railfan. And so to have cameras every 25 miles on the Marquette sub, I don't feel the least bit bad about that. Because...
Oh, no. I mean, it's great.
That really helps, to be honest, actually.
It's a tool. It's like the utility purpose of it is just, it's fantastic. I don't know why. I mean, just in my opinion, it's one of my favorite lines in Eastern Iowa to, cover. So to have that knowledge of where the trains are every few, there's no way I would have ever expected any option like this, 3-4 years ago, right? So to have this at our disposal now, it's great. I love it.
Yes. So we have this camera, which is in Bellevue, Iowa. It is hosted by the 2nd Street Station. It is a bar and restaurant on 2nd Street in Bellevue. And we are looking toward, I believe it's the intersection of 2nd Street and Main Street. And we have our first camera with street running. It is a quiet zone in Bellevue, so all you're going to get is the little ding, 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 ding of the crossing, the cantilever crossing. But then you're also going to get the bell on the train as he's going through town, but you're not going to get any whistle. And this is something that I've been working on this location for several months now, and I'm really happy that this came together and with the view that we got here, because looking toward this intersection, if you look up photos from eastern Iowa or from Bellevue, this is one of the most photographed locations or intersections in Iowa, and it's really tough to find trains here because you have to have really good information to be able to get there. So now it is totally realistic that if you're down in Bellevue, you see that train leaving Dubuque, you know it's going to be down to you in about 45 minutes.
And the opposite is true as well. You're in Dubuque, you want to know if there's any northbounds coming, check Bellevue.
Right. So another reason for this location, the CP in their capacity and expansion projects, they are building a siding about 3 miles north of this location. Excuse me. It's going to be, and Buddy Burton was the one that actually went out and kind of mapped it all out for me, so thanks for the information, Buddy. It's going to be something over a 2 mile long siding. And it's going to be outside of town to the north, kind of in the area where the access is to all those marinas and docks. So you're going to have a siding north of town. You've got the Green Island siding, which is about 10 miles south of this location. And the rest of this is all single main. So in order to know where the meets are happening, this makes a big difference. My hope is that from this location, when the signals are turned on, we're going to be able to monitor the Bellevue siding and the Green Island siding for ATCS. That's my hope. No guarantees, obviously, but that is my sincere hope. So it's a great view, and the nighttime view. We'll actually back up and take a look at the nighttime view also. It's a great view, and quite honestly, we can't go back that far. That's right, because it got reset. I forgot about that.
Now,
so the
even though it got reset, we
bumped it up to 1080p.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about an hour and a half ago. The nighttime view is fantastic. The street running is great. This is the only camera that I have right now that features street running. And then the added bonus of being able to potentially get the ATCS coverage. That's a pretty big deal. I'm very happy with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, even though we can't look back at a nighttime view, we actually can see in the short time it's been back up, there has been a train through. So if you'd like to show that a little bit, we could switch back to, I think, 11:32 I heard earlier.
Yep, I found it. This is the UP coal trains that don't exist, right, Noah?
Yeah, the ones that supposedly have been gone for quite some time and yet mysteriously keep running.
Right. I think we caught one of these by Guttenberg a few days ago on one of last week's shows also.
Yep.
While this coal train is rolling by, I would just point out also we do have a scanner radio that is attached to this, and there was a northbound train that went by here earlier this morning. It had a pair of KCS bells on it. And even though the scanner radio is not hooked up to the antenna because I did not bring in long enough cable, you could hear the train copying back the track line as he went by the depot here because the proximity was so great that even just the open end on the port on the back of the radio was picking up the signal and allowing it to broadcast.
Oh, okay.
I know, it's crazy.
That's pretty funny.
Uh-huh. So this is a train that goes back to 5th Street, Clinton, or, well, not 5th Street, to Comanche, I guess, and it gets interchanged back to the UP off the siding of Comanche.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they run them one by one a lot of times for that reason, because they have to pull into the siding and switch ends, and the UP gets on the other end, and they take it around the connection and get on the double main. So, for any eagle-eyed observers out there, if you were to watch Grand Mound and Belle Plaine, you might very well see this train heading back toward Wyoming later today or overnight tonight. So this train technically would now go by 3 cameras on the CP and 3 cameras on the Clinton and Boone subs on the UP.
You know,
This would be a well-documented train.
I think that might be the most, like, guaranteed highest quantity of cameras that we can use to capture a train. I mean, other than that, I think the next best would be, what, let's see, Guttenberg, Dubuque, Bellevue, Muscatine, and then Washington. And that's still pretty good. Now, okay, I guess if you want to cheat a little bit, you could say Ottumwa if you're really looking hard enough, right? But,
right. If you really want to squint and you can see that, yes.
Yeah.
Now, what I will tell you is I've spoken with the host in Ottumwa. He has a second location, which is on the CP side of Ottumwa. And if he can get the internet installed by Friday, we're going to go down and put in another camera in Ottumwa that's going to be at milepost 301. So it's right on the Rutledge Hill.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to see trains attacking the hill in Notch 8, heading up grade.
Oh, boy. Now that's going to be exciting.
So that's
if
coming
that
at
comes
some
to
point,
fruition.
maybe next week, maybe a little bit later, don't know for sure. But that's what we're working toward. And then we will, in fact, have 6 cameras on the CP.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And this is the, are these the WPEX coal cars? Have I got that right? The Wisconsin Public Utilities?
I think they're EDGX, if I remember correctly. I'll take a look here.
Yeah, you can get COLX, yeah, and then EDGX.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I don't know.
Now, I don't remember who owns the power plant that this train comes from, but yeah, I don't think it's WEPX.
Okay. Well, there's the rear
They
end.
got
Of course, they made liars out of me. No GPU on the back. So they take it back to the UP
today.
and they say, "Well, have fun, guys. Go ahead and
Yeah,
ride
no,
the shove all the way to Missouri Valley."
It seems like lately a lot of them have not had DPUs here. So yeah, I kind of figured something like that would happen, but
Right.
it's always worth checking. Actually, if you want to switch over to Guttenberg, I found 2 somewhat interesting trains.
Sure.
If we want to take a look at that.
I'm going to wrap this up with just talking a little more about the 2nd Street station in Bellevue. Just fantastic food. You know, you can go there, order a pizza, order a burger, watch a train go by. It's a great location. The owners I've got to meet several times now, and they're great people. And probably the most interesting part about this is this morning I got an email from the Bellevue newspaper, and they want to do a story on this webcam that's in downtown now. So if anyone wants to look up the Bellevue newspaper in about 2 weeks or so, there will be a story about the Steel Highway webcam in Bellevue. So that was kind of fascinating.
Ooh,
also.
really?
That's the most
exciting.
media request I've gotten for any of my locations.
What's the thing again?
It's the Bellevue World Herald or something along those lines. Let me
Nice.
let me see here.
Oh, by the way, got a westbound approaching Grand Mound. It's not there
we
yet,
have
but you
cameras
know.
on the UP too, don't we?
We do. Yeah, I'm trying to pay attention to other
actually,
trains.
speaking about...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying we just had an eastbound through Belle Plaine. It wasn't anything too interesting, though, just a GEVO.
Well,
But
speaking of, I know we're kind of jumping all over the place right now, but Erickson actually sent me a message, and it looks like at 9:22 there was an eastbound, what looks like an ethanol that went through Carroll with CSX SD70 Mac leader. So,
excuse me?
Yeah,
well, I
that
think we
might
better
be
look that up. That's gonna have to take a little higher priority here.
Yeah, and it's gonna be higher priority because I'm gonna go out.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, wait a second.
How
Wait,
far
and
west
it's
is
funny,
that from us?
Well, considering it was 3 hours ago, you know, it might not be too far from Belle Plaine at this point.
It might be heading up toward Manly too, in Iowa Falls. What time did you say?
Or it could head south and completely screw us.
It could head south. But at Carroll, we're looking at 9:22 this morning.
Oh, that's way too early.
And you know, it's kind of funny that this is happening because just the other day, Evan and I were talking, and we were saying, you know, how long is it going to be till we're in the middle of co-hosting a show, and then suddenly we see some train on the cam. We're like, all right, we gotta go. We have 2 minutes to leave. See ya.
Stay ya.
How long until that ends up happening? We're hoping it's not going to be, you know, a frequent occurrence. But if it should happen when we're all free, we were kind of joking about that earlier.
Everyone abandon ship. We're going for this train.
Yep.
Yes.
You're enabling us to be irresponsible here. Look at that. How dare you?
Here comes your CSX SD75.
This is an SD70 Mac rebuild, I believe.
Oh,
so whatever that.
Yep. Fresh from Huntington.
Yeah. Trackside with Tom is live today. We're going to be at Beverly watching this thing roll by.
We got westbound at milepost 24, so I'm headed over to Grand Mound to see what this is.
There you go. That, I mean,
let's see.
It could go south on the spine for all we know. We don't know yet.
If it goes south, we're screwed. But if it goes any other direction, we'll have documentation of it.
Yes. That's the most important part. We do have another eastbound, probably around Chelsea, so we'll see. I don't know.
That would make sense especially if he's got a long pool crew on him and did not stop at Bellevue, it would definitely make sense that he'd be around Chelsea by now. Yep.
Yeah, I would assume it came out of Blair.
So
you know what? It probably is.
Yeah. So now while we're rolling this empty coal train,
there go the gates.
I'm going to take a minute
Let's see.
Just talk about steel-highway.com. Everybody knows that to support the YouTube channel, you can go ahead and subscribe to the Steel Highway magazine, and you can also support the channel with a monthly subscription now. We have subscription levels that give people all kinds of goodies at different levels, so make sure and check that out. And the information is we have a track rider coming by. Look at this.
Oh yeah. I might have just interrupted. We got a Z train flying through Grand Mountain right now. So Oh yeah.
Wave hi to the track inspector. He's got his window up. He's not paying attention to us. All right, Grand Mound it is, and then hopefully Belle Plaine. So yes.
This guy's flying.
Wow.
70-mile-an-hour operation. 60.
Oh yeah. Probably doing between 65 and 70. Yeah, give or take.
All right, Grand Mound. Why? Oh why? There we go. Here comes Grand Mound.
There's some Schneiders at the end, probably, I'm assuming. Had 5 units.
Should we go back and look at the header power quick?
Might as well.
Oh, here's some trailers. Yellow trailers. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those EMP
Classic
right,
yellow.
All right.
Yep.
We'll go back and just take a quick look. That guy was by the camera, by the way, in under 2 minutes.
Yes, he was.
That was one of the fastest trains I think I've seen on the Grand Mound cam so far.
Yeah.
See.
CSX line and 2 containers.
Gonna check around the other cams, see if we have anything else
How
coming.
How close is that train that we think has the SD75 on it, or SD70 on it? How close do we think that is to Belle Plaine now?
Well, probably around milepost, 122, maybe, something like that. Maybe a little closer than that to the control point at Belle Plaine. It's not lined yet, though, but it's moving.
It's not
lined through Belle Plaine yet. No, it's trailing another train.
I see. Well, maybe we're going to get a 2-for-1 deal then. Let's check this out.
Oh, yeah, we do have a westbound coming. Shoot, I just had a brain fart for a second. We do, whatever you want to call it. But we have a westbound coming up to Belle Plaine.
All right, well, let's watch Belle Plaine for a little bit, see what kind of traffic we get.
Yeah, I think this is a coal train, if I remember correctly.
So we have we're looking east here at Belle Plaine, and we have 36 people online today, so thanks everybody for tuning in. Just so everybody knows, like a programming note here, we are going to do this again on Friday. But I promise I won't have both Bolte brothers on the same time next episode.
Yeah, it's the recipe for disaster.
That's a good way to put it.
I don't know.
Wasn't Belle Plaine like the first cam that I'm saying we, but you
it
put
was
up?
The second one.
Oh, okay.
The first one was Cedar Falls.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yep. Cedar Falls.
Yep, Cedar Falls Junction.
That is right.
And then the second
this
one
is
was Belle Plaine.
Yeah, this is amongst the first cameras.
Here comes our westbound.
Oh yeah, there it comes.
Looks like he's coming around.
Looks like
on
the coal
main
train.
1.
Yep. Should be a GEVO and AC-44. And then Oak Creek empties.
Did you scout him out by Grand Mound?
Oh, I just saw it earlier when I was seeing if there was anything interesting earlier.
We had a question. This caboose, this is a CNW caboose because we're on the former CNW double main overland route through Belle Plaine. And this caboose, I don't know the exact origin of it. I think it came out of Clinton, but I can't say for certain. So here is...
Oh, no, 2 GEVOs. Whoops.
Yep. Here are GEVOs.
Actually, this could be Weston empties. I'm not sure. It could be either or. Could be Oak Creek.
I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know.
Here's an interesting point to make. What would you say is the standard coal train power on the UP right now?
It literally could be anything between a GEVO, an AC-44, another AC-44, or it could be all GEVOs. It could be all AC-44s. You know, it could have an ace on it. It's not like it used to be. Definitely not like how it used to be. Because back, 10 years ago, you'd always get AC-44s or AC-60s.
Yeah.
But an AC-60 actually led a coal train yesterday, so that was kind of cool to see.
Wow.
Yeah, I was almost tempted to go out, but I'm like, really not going to do that.
Well, I can tell you, 15 years ago, when I was retrieving loaded coal trains from Comanche on a regular basis,
UP detector, milepost 117.1, track 1.
This is the standard Coltrane power was definitely the AC-44s, and
Oh yes.
you would get the XCMWs that weren't totally repainted yet. You'd get the XSPs that were a lot of
SPs,
times
yes.
in DPU power,
Yeah.
but not repainted yet, or maybe patched.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually didn't see a lot of original UP power on it. A lot of it was that merger power that they got assigned to the coal pools.
Yeah, and so I'm assuming it took Fruitland trains from Comanche
That's
because
right.
UP
The UP
still had that
had
contract.
The UP had the contract for the Fruitland coal trains. Yep.
Yeah, and also the plant north of Bendorf, or actually at Bendorf, whatever you want to call it.
Riverdale.
It used to. Yeah, you got
Yep.
Riverdale trains too, I'm assuming.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and I remember this one time. This is probably like what, 16 years ago or whatever. We were going to my aunt's house, and she used to live right next to the CP in Comanche.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one of the coal trains was just starting to go south. And it had a Southern Civic second out. I remember the engineer was giving a big wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was obviously you, right?
Exactly, right? That was me.
Yeah.
Well, and
It had an SP second out, and I don't remember what the DPU was, but yeah. Go ahead, Noah.
No, I was just saying I do actually remember what you're talking about, and it boggled my 5-year-old brain that a UP train was on the IC&E. I didn't quite understand that, but with a little experience in a few more years, I would come to realize that those just happen to go down here.
Right.
Yeah. The switch at Point just changed, so I'm assuming we're getting a northbound here out of the yard.
Okay.
Nothing
We got
lined
38
yet,
people
but
online right now. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
One of
eastbound is now lined through Belle Plaine, so yep.
All right. Well, we're going to hang out here a little bit and continue to wait on this eastbound to show up, I think. We will, let's see here. I got a note about an Iowa Northern train at Manly. I feel like that could be.
I was about to mention that one. Because I think we kept missing his message, but Kansas Train Video said it a couple times. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, no, we'll switch to that in a bit.
Oh, have we done Trackside with Tom with the Atoma cam up yet? I don't even remember. We did once, right? Yeah, we did once. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it was last week.
Yep, that's right. Because that camera went in, what, Tuesday or Wednesday of last week? I forget what day.
Something like that, yeah. I've noticed sometimes the radio on that is it gets really loud and it doesn't stop. So I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, I talked to the host. I think the squelch got bumped, and we should be good now.
Okay.
He fixed it yesterday. If there are radio issues again, obviously, don't be afraid to point that out.
Yeah, because I was about to say.
Let's see what we got.
Let's see.
Here.
We should actually be having an empty coal train going through Atoma soon. We'll see though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye out on it.
Looks like there's our Iowa Northern.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
There's the guy walking down to throw the switch to get onto the Iowa Northern.
Oh yeah, when Noah and I were on our way to 261 a few days ago, we caught up with the Iowa Northern at Norris Springs going south because we heard somebody talking on the CP, and we're assuming that it was the Northern interchanging at Norris Springs with the CP.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they were departing south, and we figured, heck, we'll get it, and we chased it to Rockford. So, good short chase. And of course, the sun went away the second it went past the old depot there, but it was still a good picture. Yeah, we waited there for 5 minutes, perfect sun, and then the Iowa Northern's literally coming through the elevators there and a cloud.
Yeah. So it looks like we've got a pretty standard Iowa Northern. We got 2 Jeeps and 2 slugs here.
Ooh, those are my favorite.
Maybe there's a 3rd Jeep back there.
Those are my favorite Northern Jeeps.
Yeah, the wide
those
cab
Jeep 40s. Oh, and this has something to do with Northern, but I feel like people would find it interesting, this little fact. But I can't remember why I was looking this up, but I was just, looking at like Johnny Cash stuff. I found this like Johnny Cash commercials because he used to do commercials with trains.
Yes.
And he was on this one L&N Jeep, right? And I looked up the number. That L&N Jeep is Iowa Northern 3803. I'm not joking. So if you ever see 3803 out there, Johnny Cash has been up in the cab, which is pretty funny.
If somebody calls Dan Saban, he might actually paint Johnny Cash's name on this underneath the cab window.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, but I believe it's like L&N like 40 something. Like I'll hold up. I'll just have to look up 3803 real quick.
So here comes the Iowa Northern. So the conductor is walking back to throw the switchback behind the train where he's coming out of the yard, which is about a block up that direction. You can kind of see his light waving back and forth as he walks back.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was. Let's see.
We are rolling by an early morning Iowa Northern train here, departing Manly, heading down toward Butler.
Oh yes, and it was former L&N 4044.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was joking with somebody the other day about the fact that it feels like the Iowa Northern only runs overnights because they run overnight down to Cedar Rapids. It seems like that they run overnights through Manly frequently. They do have a daylight move that goes by most days in the middle of the afternoon by Cedar Falls.
Yes.
Let's see that that eastbound is going across the control point at Belle Plaine, so it'll be here any next couple minutes.
We'll switch back over.
Let
Definitely.
me check where the eastbound Amtrak is, because it should be getting close to Tumwa, because it's late as usual.
Of course. But hey, Amtrak being late only helps us, so.
It is arrived. Geez, 1:30. Okay, never mind. It's still a ways out there.
It's too late.
Yeah.
We're not even going to be on the air anymore.
So I've been told by someone on Facebook that a friend of theirs sent a message to this chat right now, and if you scroll up, you'll see it. He wants to know, or not necessarily wants to know, but made a statement saying that someone needs to put up a webcam in Cincinnati on the joint NS and CSX main line there. So, Tom, I don't know I think that was directed at you, so I'm kind of forwarding the message to you right here.
Oh, God. Now we have a Cincinnati cam.
Well,
that'll be coming next.
Right. All right. Well, our Iowa Northern train is gone. I'll tell you, I'm not afraid to go put up webcams. The problem is always finding hosts. That is 100% the biggest challenge, is finding hosts that are close enough proximity to the tracks and willing to share an internet connection to be able to facilitate that kind of equipment. But that is always the biggest challenge. But I do appreciate the suggestion. I always appreciate people giving me suggestions for locations for webcams. All right. So we're back at Belle Plaine. We got an eastbound coming, and you said he was across the control point, correct?
Yeah, so it should be hitting the 117 detector soon.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see him very shortly here. And,
oh, there it goes.
UP detector, milepost 117.1, track 2.
So, from a rail fanning perspective, it seems like every railroad's defect detectors work a little bit different, right? Because, like, the BNSF ones only talk when the train is all by. The UP ones only talk on the head end, unless there's a defect, and then they spit out a defect message.
Yeah, which I've only heard like once.
Right, and the CP and the CN ones are the most long-winded defect detectors. They're giving you the temperature, the time of day, the price of gas. I mean, everything. Axle counts, direction. In case you were confused about whether you were going east or west, they're telling you where you're going. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is definitely not the CSX, because I could tell from that horn. Sounds like an AC-44. Let's see if I'm right. Maybe a coal train?
Maybe.
Let's see. Nope, manifest, or... Yeah, this looks like a manifest, yep.
Had a SD70 second out.
Yep.
SD70 ACE, I should say.
Yes, yep. Oh, a lot of 4-bay hoppers. I like those.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
wonder-
still west of here somewhere. There is another train line behind it, so maybe.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see
But
them in the
it's
next
not
8 minutes.
close. Yeah, it's not close enough.
My guess is that if you went back and checked the Iowa Falls camera, this is probably something that originated in Mason City or further north. Probably Mason City, and is going east.
It could be, yeah, because look at all those cars.
Well, look at
all
these
those
Verisun
Verisun
hoppers.
cars. Uh-huh.
Verisun runs ethanol plants.
Yeah.
And they're Valero Energy, whatever they're calling themselves now.
Mm.
And it's those 4-bay hoppers that I was talking about last week that have the dried distiller's grains in them. That's the byproduct of cracking the corn to make ethanol. And so
Yes.
I would not be at all surprised if this is a Mason City type train that came down to Nevada and turned east.
I don't really see that. I mean, how many manifests go south and then east?
There aren't any scheduled ones that are like a daily occurrence, but every once in a while they will run like an X manifest, so it could be like MC, PRX, or CLX, whatever.
Look at those.
Or keep in mind, this could be a Mason City to Boone train. From there, it got picked up by an eastbound.
Yeah.
Now it looks like a Mason City train. So
Yeah,
there's different ways they could go about doing this.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the second half of this train. It looks like maybe CB or something like
look
that.
at all the coil cars and all that.
I think this
Red.
is probably CBCH, I would
It
imagine.
very well could be.
Right, and he picked up a block of Mason City cars in his head end. That makes perfect
Absolutely.
sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep,
The PSR way.
absolutely. He's dragging down quite a bit, too. This is one of these places where you see him going up grade, and they're losing speed significantly as they head up the hill.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got a mid DPU or something.
Or rear DPU. Something. I can hear it coming.
Mid, yep. There we go.
And here comes the second train. Second half of the train, whatever you're going to call it.
Yeah. Still nothing north out of Point.
Yeah, sometimes they get lined up and it takes them a while to actually... So there's some auto racks. It can take them a while to get from A to B, get out of the yard and get by the Stevens Point webcam.
Yeah.
Some coil cars.
Oh, we do have...
One coil car.
You might want to go on to East Dubuque here because the locals should be coming into town.
Ooh.
Could be a nice little ending.
Yeah.
Go to East Dubuque.
I will get it pulled up. Where is East Dubuque? Let's go find East Dubuque. There is East. That's East Dubuque East. Then we can find East Dubuque West.
Yep.
Oh, one other note that I would make. Grinnell webcam, I don't know if people have noticed or not, but it's actually been quite a bit more stable the last couple of weeks. I went over there and I replaced the power supply with a battery backup power supply, and it seems to have made a huge difference. I don't think that they might not have had the most stable power supply or power source over there.
Yeah, it seems like it's doing a lot better.
It does. I was having to go and reset that thing sometimes once a week even. Sometimes one of the cameras would turn off and not come back on. Yeah, it was kind of a pain in the butt. But since I put that battery backup power supply into Grinnell, it seems to be working quite a bit nicer.
Yeah.
We also do have a westbound sitting at Portage, it looks like, from ATCS.
The phrase Grinnell's down was getting a little bit too common. I was like, all right, it's time to make a change here.
Right. The location is great. I mean, obviously, I love being able to see the diamond there and be able to see the 2 trains a day that the Iowa Interstate has scheduled.
Hey, well, you know what? For those documenting the Iowa Interstate, putting a show together, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, it's pretty useful.
That's exactly right. And I will tell you, as we're waiting for this CN local to show up with his pair of GTW Jeeps, I assume is what we're waiting for.
Now this would be BNSF.
Oh, the lacrosse road switch. Okay.
Yeah, man, when you're all done.
Yes.
Got it.
Clearwood.
In putting together this channel, I really try to gear it toward what rail fans want to have. And that's a big reason why, there's a camera every 25 miles on the CP, on the Marquette sub. Well, that's because the CP Marquette sub has a lot of places that are really tough to drive to. You gotta know where the train is to be able to figure that out.
Oh, and they just mentioned something about a CP train, 338, because it sounds like they're in town. They're working the yard.
Lady back.
Okay.
They mentioned something about a CP, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'll keep an eye on Bellevue just in case it's a northbound.
Yeah, because I've been watching Guttenberg, and there's a northbound KCS grain train that went through at about I don't know, 11 something, and then we had a northbound what looked like a K39 with all BNSF power that went through a while back, but I haven't seen any southbounds recently. So yeah, that would definitely be worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
Oh, we finally got our northbound lined out a point, so maybe that could also be a good way to end things.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, where is our camera shy lacrosse road switch?
It's getting close to the diamond.
Okay.
It's not almost like there already.
It says L591 is what's coming out of Stevens Point. It's the local Clover.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, you gotta swing over that way anyway, so I'll see you on the one.
On that Stevens Point camera, we had a pair of SD60s, or maybe it was a 60 and a 75, that came out and just posed right in front of the Stevens Point camera the first day it was on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there go the gates at East Dubuque, so...
Yep. Well, the one gate we could actually see, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear him. It sounds like an EMD.
I'd assume it's 2 H4 Jeeps.
Let's see what we got coming.
Over.
I see a headlight in between the leaves. All right, well, this is going to be the last thing that we'll have to go by.
Are you pulling over waiting for him? Because I'm going to keep her coming on the reds. You going to go through the little span? Roger, Roger.
Para
I was waiting on him, but I guess I keep on
whatever you
coming.
like to call them. And we got one of the longest train I think I've seen through here in a while.
4 cars.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning in today. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, Noah, for
Hey,
chiming in with your
friend, American lady, I'm just gonna keep on coming see on it too, all right?
We always appreciate everybody tuning in, and please check out steel-highway.com. Subscribe to the magazine, order a hat, order it, just check out any of the cool stuff that we have there. And please keep telling people about the channel. Keep supporting us. And we just love having everybody here. So, Sam, you want to sign us off today?
Sure. See ya. See ya.
Noah, you want to try?
Adios.
All right, we'll see you everybody
Adios.
Friday.
Yep, see you Friday.
See you guys.